Welcome to the Caravan Show, where we discuss all things caravans. That's right, everything you need to know about caravans, from weights, towing, maintenance, appliances, renovations, buying a caravan, repairs, destinations and reviews. We'll also chat with some Aussie legends, manufacturers, suppliers and of course, people who love caravans. Take it away, Roy.
G'day everyone, it's Roy here from the Caravan Show and Podcast, and I have on the line with me Jason Fillipini. Now, Jason, you're the chairman of the Family Parks Association for Australia and New Zealand, and Jason also manages three, I believe, of the big parks on the Sunshine Coast. Welcome to today's session, Jason.
Thanks, Roy. Good to be here.
Now, how long have you been chairman of the Family Parks?
I've been on the board of Family Parks for 4 years and chairman for the last year and a half.
So that's a good statement for you. Now, you live on the Sunshine Coast?
Yes, we currently, with my wife, we live at the Mooloolaba Beach Holiday Park as the resident managers there. And before that, we've lived both at Coolum and Mooloolaba Holiday Parks as the managers there as well.
So both you and Nicole, isn't it? Nicole?
Yes, correct.
Yeah. You manage Mooloolaba, Maroochydore and Coolum, is that correct?
Coolum, that's correct.
Beautiful. So, I mean, that's three big parts. That's a big responsibility, aside from being the chairman of the Parks Association. So you must be on call an awful lot, Jason.
Look, we work 7 days a week on call. I think it's a lifestyle job. I think if you were doing $1 per hour, you wouldn't do it to save yourself, but it's a lifestyle. You've really got to love your job. You've got to love the industry and love people. And certainly that sort of fits. We tick all those boxes. So it's just like a farmer. We get up every day and we milk the cows, and it's a really enjoyable lifestyle for both Nicole and myself. And running across the three parks keeps us rather busy, and we're fairly sound business people, so we really treat the parks like a corporate entity.
Yeah. So this is the Sunshine Coast that we're talking about here, which, of course, when it comes to attractions, we're absolutely chock-a-block full of those, and we'll cover some of those attractions in a few minutes. But tell me a little bit more about yourself, Jason. So are you a Queensland boy?
Yes, so I went to school, grew up in Queensland on the north side of Brisbane. I spent most of my childhood and young adult space in the Brisbane area. And then I went to the military for a while and got out of the military and then went through a couple of business roles and then decided, you know what? We want to run parks. And so then we went about finding a way into the holiday park industry. And it just turned out that coming in as getting contracts to run parks was the way that we found the best way in. And we started with one park about 6 years ago, and that was Maroochydore Beach Holiday Park. And we're on our second contract there. And we've since picked up the Coolum Beach Holiday Park and Mooloolaba Beach Holiday Park. So as time allows and our experience grows, we're growing our business network and growing our park size and what we do.
So in your role, you look after these parks, but you're also, at the moment, you're acting spokesperson for your local region. So there are other caravan parks in your area as well, aren't there?
There are. So across the Sunshine Coast region, we've got 34 parks. 6 of those are council parks that are operated under the Sunshine Coast Holiday Parks brand, and they're all members of Family Parks. And then the other 28 are all independent operators. Some run under the Kui brand, the Top Parks brand, the Big Four brand, all their own brand for their local space. So there's quite a number in the region.
So yeah, it's very well serviced. Cost for caravan parks on the Sunshine Coast. I mean, being the Sunshine Coast, obviously they're going to be paying massive amounts of money to be staying at these parks, aren't they?
Oh, look, I don't think massive is appropriate. I think you're getting a really good bang for your buck, and I guess the nightly rate, depending on time of year and location in parks, ranges anywhere from about $45 a night in the lower spaces or seasons up to our peak seasons, which sort of go out anywhere for about that $70 a night.
Wow.
Costing.
Okay.
So,
I would have thought it would have been twice that at least, to be honest with you.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking it's going to be really expensive in that area. And in fact, it's quite affordable.
Oh, it's absolutely affordable. It's a great place to be. The region offers so much with its beaches and its attractions, and I guess the price point is not necessarily as high as one would think for the value that you get, but it's in line with our costings and in line with our market share. So when we're really busy, the price does go up, supply and demand. But we're quite busy most of the year round, which is it's a fantastic indictment on the Sunshine Coast region.
A lot of our listeners actually have pets, so and they do find it difficult to find parks that will be pet friendly. Is there anything on the coast for pet friendly accommodation?
Yeah, there's a few on the coast. You've got Coolum Beach Holiday Park and the Jimba Beach Holiday Park. They are pet friendly. I'm pretty sure around the corner at the Ingenia River Shore, they're pet friendly. And I think there may be one in Caloundra that's pet friendly as well. So look, the pet friendly space in caravanning is growing. And it's becoming, it used to be a value add and something new that a caravan park or holiday park would offer, and I think now it's almost becoming a little bit of the norm. So I'm watching that space with a lot of interest, because I feel that in the next 5 to 10 years, it will just be expected and normal for most holiday parks to allow some sort of pet stays.
Yeah, putting on your cap for the chairman of the Family Parks Association, so you're clearly aware of what's going on in your industry throughout Australia and New Zealand. Are they looking at things like the size of the spots for people? Because one of the issues, again, that our listeners are finding, a lot of parks aren't really big enough for these bigger vans that we've been putting out over the last few years.
Oh, look, it's a age-old problem at the moment, and I think it goes back to when a lot of parks were originally developed in the 60s and 70s. Average size was 16, 17 foot. That was the size of the van. So they were built around that sort of size, and if they were a permanent van on site, they were a little bit bigger because they were obviously a permanent accommodation. And as we've progressed and tow vehicles have got better and weights and distributions, and all of a sudden we can tow around a 3.5 ton van, it's certainly created a problem. Sites are really, the sizes are governed by the local jurisdiction, so that's your state, your councils, local councils, and in line with the state legislation. Currently, I know the Sunshine Coast parks, we sort of sit around 100 square metres. We just redeveloped the Mooloolaba Park, and certainly it was developed with the view and with the opinion that we needed to be able to house the larger rigs, so we can really accommodate up to 30 footers without a problem. And there are some sites that I can get some large 40-foot buses on as well. And it is a problem, and it's a problem they experience across the ditch in New Zealand as well. And it's something that I think everyone is very aware of, and it's just the workaround of how do you make something that was built for a 16-footer, and how do you make it accommodate today's awesome builds that we've got going on with the larger vans. And sometimes it can be down to a tractor service, and other times it can be down to a full redevelop. And certainly the Mooloolaba Park, for anyone who may have been here historically, it was a rabbit warren, and it was really tight. If you're above 24 foot, you might as well go somewhere else. And it's changed. We've built the site so you can really get larger vans in, a little bit wider roadways, ring road versus dead-end streets, and certain little modern engineering feats like that have made it certainly more of an applicable position for the larger vans.
And of course, once you're in those parks nowadays, your services that you provide have improved dramatically. I mean, you can normally get your groceries there, but you're inclined to now put in swimming pools and slides for kids and entertainment, all sorts of things, including, of course, the internet services.
Yes, yes. So I guess on the broader scope, with the family parks hat on, we've got parks in our group that will have your jumping pillows and your swimming pools, your water slides, and your cafes, your restaurants, and your improved services. I know there are parks that are currently going renovations at the moment, or upgrades, and they're even putting in coaxial cable for TV and internet reception to each of the sites. So as technology goes, I think we're going to see more and more of the parks embracing that technology and just enhancing that experience for the guest.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of turning your caravan park into a theme park almost. Certainly it's a real holiday centre, which is pretty fantastic and, again, quite affordable. Let's move on a little bit, Jason, to what's available in the region. So people are travelling to one of your sites, one of the 34 sites on the Sunshine Coast. And in fact, there is so much to see. And some of these things are like absolutely international. For example, the Australia Zoo. There's just so much to see. You could spend literally months on the Sunshine Coast and not see everything there is to see, couldn't you?
Oh, absolutely. I guess, I have a number of guests that just come to our parks who come many times over because they just haven't done it all. There's people that I've come across over the last 6 years of my interactions on the Sunshine Coast that have been regular visitors and still say to me, they haven't had a chance to go up Mount Coolum yet, and they're coming back to do it because every time they get here, there's something new, or there's just a bit of downtime. The beach is amazing, and they get sucked up in the beauty of that simple space on the beach. And then we didn't get to Mount Coolum as an example, so we'll come back next time, and we're going to get up early. We're going to see the sunrise. We're going to do the walk, and there's a number of attractions around the coast like that people just keep coming back to, and they can't get it all done in one stop.
Yeah, I mean, there are other things like whale watching, for example, which is obviously big on the list there. But I'm going to mention one in particular here, only because one of the people that work here with me has recently done the Mooloolaba fishing charters trip and been out fishing on the boats there, and had a fantastic time and came back with a huge array of massive fish, which we, of course, were all quite annoyed and upset about. But anyway, they had a very successful time. I said, what a absolutely fantastic time it was. So the Mooloolaba fishing charters is one good example of the type of things you can do that's not mainstream, not as in, we know about Australia Zoo, and if you haven't heard about Underwater World, well, you're just not breathing. It's just a fantastic attraction. And I've taken my grandchildren there many times, and Aussie World's another place that we've been to see, and we've seen a lot of development in that area too, haven't we?
Oh, absolutely. I think going back to your fishing charter and the person in your office that went to do it, I see guests coming through doing that, and they also go and do dive charters. Never dived before, and they're buddied up, and they go and do a quick dive out at I think it's the Brisbane that's off the coast here, and they just love it. They come back and I've never even thought of doing that. I couldn't do that, and they've just gone and done it. And another one we see a lot of people going through to, even with the 1 and 2 night stayers, is the Aussie Zoo, and you hear the stories of what they're doing out there, and one day they come back and say, we were playing with giraffes, and I didn't know giraffes are out there, and you'll get other people coming back telling you different things, and you go, wow, how much has that changed? It's amazing, even for those who come and visit and do the same activity a couple of times. It evolves. The coast has just got so much strength about it, and the evolution, it's constantly improving itself, and the attractions are certainly part of that.
Yeah, and we've got a fantastic history because there's so much diversity on the sunny coast. We're talking about the sun and the sea, I guess, but there's also the hinterland area and all the the wonderful things like the ginger factory and the Yamundi markets, and there's just some absolutely brilliant things you can do. So it's not all about the sun and the surf. There's plenty of other things on the sunny coast, isn't there?
Absolutely, and I think it spans the range of age. Up at Coolum, we've got the water park. Out at Bly, there's a water park, and so that sort of is that your 9-10-year-old right through to adults. And then, like you said, the ginger factory. The kids love it. They love the train, and I've seen the smaller kids who come up every year, and as they're growing, I'm going to the train, mummy. We're going to the train. It's not just diverse; it also covers every age group, and I think it's just an amazing indictment on what the tourism operators really do. They fund and they cover the whole spectrum of age, and there's something for everybody. I think that's the amazing thing, whether it's hinterland or coastal, or it's a thrill ride, or it's just a nice gentle train ride around the Budrum ginger factory. It's amazing.
So tourism really does play a very big part for the Sunshine Coast, and it's been hit, I assume, by what's happened with the COVID-19. So what would you say to people now? I mean, are we really needing them on the sunny coast? Do we really want them up there?
Oh, absolutely. The whole COVID experience to date, I think it's not just for the sunny coast. I think it's for the whole of Australia, but certainly for the sunny coast region. It's been hit hard this time of year. We normally have that southern migration of all the people I call winter warriors, the old grey nomads, and they come up every year and they inject a lot of money into the local economy. They inject a lot of money and fill our parks and our tourist accommodation houses, because I do have many who were caravanners who have then graduated into hotel accommodation because they're past caravanning, but they love the location so much. They haven't come this year. And it's a massive hole in the parks revenue, but also the economy of the coast. It's really hurting, and I think since the 2nd of June, when the Premier really announced, Queenslanders, it's time to support Queenslanders. Queenslanders have really done well, and they've taken the uptake, and they're doing everything they can, and they're supporting the region, and they're supporting our parks, they're supporting our tourism operators, but they can't do that for so long. So, if someone hasn't done it and is thinking about it, I could only tell them they're going to have an amazing time. And we do. We need you. We need the new people, new travellers, people who haven't done it before, to come and experience what we've got on offer, because COVID has hit, I think, every corner of the tourism industry on the coast really, really hard.
And it's an interesting observation of ours that local people don't always go and visit the local things they should. So, we've got people here in Brisbane that, sure, everyone's been to the Sunshine Coast at one stage or another, but actually, have they done it all? Have they seen everything there is to see? And actually, for us right now, particularly while the borders are closed, it's a great time to take the opportunity to go out and do it. So we actually don't need to wait for the borders to be open. Let's start moving and doing these things, throughout the whole of regional Queensland. There's so many places to go and so many things to do. You're an hour and a half, 2 hours out of Brisbane at best to see the Sunshine Coast. Why not go and spend some time there right now? You don't need to be travelling over to Western Australia. So we get this southern migration every year, but we also have a great exodus of Queenslanders going into the other states. Well, you can't do that at the moment, so just enjoy your backyard for a while.
Absolutely, and I think that's a great message, which is to enjoy your backyard. And I was talking to CEO Caravan in Queensland on the trade side of the association just the other day, and he was talking to me about the uptake of sales of caravans and also just camping equipment in general. And we're certainly seeing it in the parks where we're seeing people, first timers, and they're doing exactly that. They used to do the European trips, and they know that they're on hold for an indefinite amount of time, but they're still eager to go and do something. And they're coming in. They're buying their vans. They're buying that camping equipment, whether it's a tent, camper, trailer, a motorhome, or even caravan, and they're actually coming out and starting to enjoy and to see what's on their back door. And some of them are remarkably surprised at how amazing some of these locations are. And it's certainly a great message to everyone, just to, if you've got the smallest inkling, get out and come and have a look and see, because there's so much to see. Because the Sunshine Coast region, the whole of Queensland, and to be honest, those regional locations, they need the support too, because without them, the Sunshine Coast tourism has a problem, because people travel from somewhere to get to us, and they need somewhere along the way to stop and see as well. So there's this massive matrix of dependence on that regional travel outside of the capital cities. And we implore everybody to jump on board and really come and support local regional Queensland.
Actually, done well to get Jason on the phone. I've been playing cat and mouse with Jason now for a while. He keeps promising to come on, and then every time I contact him, he's on a Zoom or he's on the ABC or he's doing something else. So another Jason out there, he will be on this show in the not too distant future. But, just going back to this regional travel thing, we were talking about it this morning. We're saying, if you really wanted to spend the time to tour Australia and do the big lap, it's going to take you whatever period it's time it's going to take. But in reality, if you're in Queensland and you just toured Queensland alone and you really wanted to do it properly, it would take more than 12 months to do it. There's just so much to see, and people don't realise it. They're too much in a hurry to get from point A to point B. They miss all the other points between the two the two areas. It's just incredible that we got so much for people to see, and they're missing it. And again, this comes back to not looking in our own garden. I know I'm to blame. I'm here at Caboolture, and we've got a local historic town just down the road from me. And as I sit here now, after 30 odd years, I still haven't visited. And it's not more than 200 metres from where I work every day. It's just stupid, but we're all guilty of it, and yet I'll travel halfway around the world, and it's just we need to be smarter. I need to be smarter.
We do, but I think if you're looking for positives out of COVID, I think those realizations are happening, and it's happening in business. People are getting time to review their business, and I think it's happening in people's private lives where they're reviewing what's important. And the more that we can message out there, what's in their own backyard, making memories in the sunny coast, in Queensland, in Australia, doing the lap of the state, doing the lap of the country. I just think it's a message that's getting through, and people are starting to take this new normal of post-COVID and this experience of COVID, and we're getting back to what's innate in ourselves, which is that looking after ourselves and looking after our country and our state and our location and support. And I think it's happening as a result, as a byproduct of COVID.
Yeah, look, absolutely. It's bringing Australia back to Australians, or bringing Australians back to Australia. We've got to be looking after ourselves and our own people a bit better than we have done in the past. This goes from tourism to manufacturing and so forth, but without getting too heavily involved in that, because we want to have a lot of fun here with the things there are to do. One of the questions I asked everyone, Jason, and it's always a tough one, but there are always secrets in our area, and I'm asking everyone to share a secret, a thing to do, a place to go, a person to meet. Just some secret that you're not going to find mainstream through Google.
Oh, gee, a secret for the sunny coast. Well, for me, I think it's that dive charter I was talking about. There are so many people out here that in the community that don't realise that they can just go and do one of these dives and not be trained, and they're quite safe. And going out to do that's just one of many little hidden gems. And then I think the other one is out directly west of Mount Coolum is another mountain, and it's a trail walk, and it's not well known, and it's just up the end in Coolum Road, and I can't remember the name of it, but that would be another little hidden gem.
So let's talk a bit more about the things that you can do. So we've said we can go fishing, we can go whale watching, we can go diving, and we can go to spectacular places like Australia Zoo, Underwater World, the Big Track, Aussie World, the Ginger Factory, your Monday markets. But there's still heaps more than that to do, isn't there? We've got ballooning, we've got charter flights, there's everything.
You've got Sunday markets are scattered around, from a farmers market that we get at the Cotton Tree, King Street, out to the Fisherman Road markets, which are more flea market style. Then like you said, you got your Monday markets, which are on a few days a week, and they're more your homewares. We've got that right through to that dining experience, from some really awesome Italian restaurants, right through to your fish and chips and some amazing fresh seafood straight off the trawlers at the spit at Mooloolaba. So there is just so much to that you can do in the region and do that is just part of your normal daily life.
Yeah, and all the fresh produce, of course, because we've got a lot of produce that people don't necessarily realise right on our doorsteps that you can get at the market. So things like lychee nuts. I mean, we all know that they're bananas and they're pineapples, but you can get things like lychees. I mean, I didn't know that that was so readily available here in the southeast of Queensland.
Yeah, and I think the general fresh food space, it's something to behold when we've got out at Forest Glen. It's a natural shop out there, and they sell all the freshest, most organic type of foods out there, and it's just amazing what you can get your hands on at reasonable cost and really close to everything. So it's not that we have to go for a specific drive. So yeah, it's accessible as well.
You've also got a fairly good and healthy cheese industry on the sunny coast, which again surprised me, just the value on the products that we can get. But cheese, it's again a popular thing to find on the sunny coast.
Yeah, nothing better than I prefer. I quite like the Kenilworth cheese out of the Kenilworth factory. It is something special. Even I've been out there and done one of their factory tours and the cheese tasting at the end. And you're tasting some amazing concoctions that just blow your mind with flavour. It's something you wouldn't expect out of cheese. It's quite unique.
And a diversity of honey. It's another big industry on the Sunshine Coast.
A long time ago we used to have the Super Bee.
Yeah.
The Super Bee used to be out there at the maze, and certainly there's a lot of flavours in the honey space as well. So it is. We're so have an abundance of different things to try and sample. It's really special.
And of course, you've only just got to travel in the hills there a little bit, and you've got the likes of Mullaney and all those little towns there that are absolutely spectacular boutiques, to say nothing of the big restaurants, retreats, health retreats. That's all there on that hinterland there, isn't it?
Yeah, you've got Montville, Mapleton, and Mullaney, and they're all fairly close in quite a small drive triangle, but they host so different cultures, eclectic type cultures, when you walk down the main streets of the three locations, and they're all around that homey body stuff and that really community feel, but they're so unique in the way they all feel as you go for a walk. I love a coffee up the Penny Farthing restaurant up the top of Montville. It's just something to behold. It's amazing.
We can sit there at Montville, and if you get the right spot, you can overlook and you can actually see the ocean from up there, and which means you can basically see the whole Sunshine Coast from Montville alone. I mean, it's just absolutely
on a great
spectacular.
day, it's awesome. On a great day, it is absolutely awesome to sit up there and just look out over on the top of the hills and looking out over the Sunshine Coast, and it is something to behold.
Jason, I don't know what to say. I really do appreciate your time. I know you're a busy man and you've taken the time out to do this for us, which we are grateful for. Is there any last things you'd like to share with our listeners before we let you go and get on with your work?
I think the biggest thing is to everybody listening, just to really take the time to explore your own backyard. We'd love to see you on the Sunshine Coast experiencing what we've got to offer. But beyond that, I think every region and town in Queensland really needs your support. So if you're going to plan a trip, plan it, get out there and just make some memories.
That's it. Make some memories, live your life. I mean, it's all too short at the end of the day. Jason, you've been fantastic, mate. I really do appreciate it. And hopefully we can have you on the show again later down the track. So thank you again, and we'll see you on the flip side.
Thanks, Roy.